Okay, before I begin the actual video, I actually was originally going to make this video as a screen cap video by going and showing Enter's website for his regular YouTube and on his little Indiegogo, but for some reason my mic wouldn't work. I tried a bunch of things to try to go and make it work, but nothing did. I'm not really sure what's wrong with it, and it's never really had problems before, so I'm guessing it just went and broke, and rightfully so. It was a pretty cheap mic. I should probably get a better one in the future, but that sucks because I went the whole video with going and just talking and talking. I had never noticed, and my original video I think was probably a lot longer than this one's going to be, and so I did all that freaking work for nothing. But eventually I'll get a new mic, but I was also going to have some other videos I was planning to use the mic for, but until I get a new one, I'm probably just going to have to go and make them on my regular little webcam. So I'm thinking about making a video for I forgot. For sequels and reboots, I myself would probably like to see, since there's all these sequels and reboots coming out. So I just want to kind of go and make my own list on that, and I'm still kind of making my mind on what I want to see, but with my mic on, I'm deciding if I want to wait on that or just make a regular video on it, but whatever. So let's go ahead and get this over with. So I just want to go and get that message out before I go and do the actual video. So, by the title, you probably already know what this video is going to be about. So, Mr. Enter. If you do not know who he is, Mr. Enter is a person on YouTube who mostly reviews a bunch of cartoons, like SpongeBob, Family Guy, and anything like that. And he's pretty popular. He has around, I think, close to 300,000 subscribers, which is pretty good. A lot more than I will ever have, but he's definitely made his way up there. And his videos are usually reviews of animated atrocities, which he calls, and admirable animation. And as you can guess, atrocities is anything he hates, and admirable is anything he likes. When it's anything that's on the bad side, you can expect Martin and SpongeBob episodes to be on there, and Family Guy. It's filled to the brim up there. He really hates Seth MacFarlane. I'm not exactly a fan of him too. I disagree with his politics, and I disagree with his views on religion, but I still have some positives about him. So, but Andrew just despises him. But what do I think of Enter? Do I hate him? It's hard to say. I don't like his videos really much. I disagree with him a lot. I've only watched a few episodes of his, and one episode of his I did watch was when he reviewed this Dexter's Lab episode where Dexter has to go and save, I think, Dee Dee in a dream, and Kusi is there, and there's some villain that looks like an anime character, and he says he doesn't like it, and I commented on how the anime guy looks like he's from Sailor Moon, but other than that, I've never really watched his videos. He has a lot of negatives about him. He's obsessed with morals. He thinks that every cartoon needs a moral. For example, if maybe there was an episode of characters who were trying to go and maybe are in some kind of contest for trying to get some kind of prize out of a cereal box, and it led to something bad, and then there was no moral in it, he would hate it. He would say, well, that wasn't a waste of 11 minutes. And he does this stuff all the time, that every cartoon needs a moral in it. And I mean, I'm not one to complain about morals all the time. I mean, yes, they're good to teach the kids, but not every cartoon and episode needs a moral in it. if it did, some people just might get bored of it and go and say that cartoon is too preachy. But not to Mr. Enter. Then he's always talking about how some cartoons are too mean-spirited, how their jokes are too offensive, and sometimes I can see cartoons doing that, but to him, any joke is pretty much offensive. If someone calls one character fat, and whoa, that's going too far, and he just gets so upset at it, and it's just freaking amazing at times. And there are a bunch of things I just really don't like about him. At times he just gets too really, I guess, whiny on those things. And if it's not really Enter I hate, I think it's mostly his fans. His fans are just atrocious at times. If you make a negative video about Enter, his fans will come at you at drones and dislike it. They will go and say anything negative about you and say you're jealous, that you're a hater. I've never really seen, I think, Enter himself do this, but I've seen his fans do it all the time. If you say anything negative about their little lord, they will not hesitate to go and make you a freaking villain. And I've been in that spot before. A lot of other people have went and complained about Enter have been in that spot. I once saw someone make a little joke about Enter on a SpongeBob video, and some fanboy just got so freaking mad at him, and he just kept complaining every time, and we kept trying to give him some rational reasons why we don't like him, and he just got like, haters. This guy was just so freaking annoying, and it's stupid in a way, because if you always have to go and protect Enter, who's, I think, has Asperger's, and you're pretty much going around and saying that autistic people can't defend themselves. They always need someone else to go and defend them. So you're really helping the autistic community people there, guys. They can't help themselves. They always need someone to come and be their knight in shining armor. So let's get to the whole thing. So Enter, for the last few years, has been trying to make this cartoon called Growing Around. And it's about a show that takes place in a universe where the kids are the ones who are in charge, and the adults are the ones who going around, I think, going to school and everything. So this is really nothing new. We've seen this done before. It was kind of done in Kids Next Door, not to this extent, but it was kind of shown in the show that at one point kids were in charge, and at least that's what they think, and they want to take everything back. So we've seen this in a few shows and movies and books before, so it's really nothing new, and I think he's admitted that, but he's saying he wants to put his own twist in it. And we've seen some concept art and a bunch of things about the show, so it's what you expect. It's, yeah, all the kids are in charge of everything and all that, so I'm pretty much just going to talk about reasons why I think this thing failed, and why he didn't do as good as I think he hoped, because it only got around $10,000, and most people will probably say, that's pretty good. I mean, $10,000, he did pretty good on that. Except that he was asking for $350,000. Instead, he was asking for $350,000. And that's pretty much where he pretty much went and killed his own campaign. $350,000. And that's the first problem right there, is that I think he's too small of a channel to go and do that. Yes, he has close to 300,000 subscribers, but still, he's really only big in the cartoon community. Pretty much anywhere else, people probably won't really know much about Enter. Do you think people who go and watch conspiracy videos are going to go and watch him? Or people who spend most of their time watching sports videos? No! They don't care about Enter, and because of that, they're not going to donate to him. On these campaigns usually, people usually only donate if it's going to benefit them in a way. So if it's some kind of app on the phone, or if it's a movie or show they grew up with, that's where they're usually going to go and put their money in. Once in a while, they're going to put their money on a really good cause, like saving an animal or a child or anything like that that might have a disease, but other than that, it's usually going to be in a way that benefits them. So because they don't really know Enter and they don't really care about him, why should they go and donate their money to him for something they don't care about? That is the first big problem, and that itself pretty much killed this campaign. The second is that, I kind of explained it, is that he was asking for too much money. Yes, I know animation is a lot. You have to put a lot of money in it, and it often takes a long time to make. But the problem is that he could have done something different. What I think he should have done is that he probably should have made a short. Maybe something about 10 minutes long. And usually, pilots for cartoons are about 10 minutes long. They're usually not going to be full length, because I guess the producers and the company don't want to put all the money into it. That's something that might go and fail. So that would be just a huge waste of money for them. So instead, they just go and make a short. And that's what he should have done here. He should have made a short, or at least maybe some kind of graphic novel or webcomic, something like that. So, if you hear some music, there's some weird snow cone machine going around, but ignore that. Now, where the hell was I? So yeah, he should have gone and made a short instead. And if he had done that, he could have possibly made his own webcomic or short when he had not asked just as much. Anyway, so let's go on and get to my next one. One of the things that he wanted to do in the show was he wanted to include issues. Now by that, he wants to include more adult issues. And he's kind of championing this as that cartoons have never done before. I've seen it in tons of cartoons, Enter. A tons of cartoons. But some of the ones he wants to tackle I think are kind of stupid. One of them is that he wants to tackle freaking sexuality. Here's the thing. Children do not feel sexuality the way adults do. They just don't feel it that way. Children, yes, they do fall in love. I had some loves when I was a kid, but it's in a different way. Usually, if you don't want to go and kiss someone when you're a kid, and if you do, you don't want to blab it into anyone. You're going to go like, I don't want to kiss her, yuck, girl germs, cuties. That's what it's like when you're a kid. But he wants to go and tackle this, and when you're a kid, you don't want to go and say, yeah, I want to go in bed and bang that. You don't do those things. So going and tackling sexuality is just really stupid. It just doesn't make any sense because kids don't feel it in the same way adults do. And he even said it in the show that kids still act like kids and adults still act like adults, despite the fact that the kids are in charge. So it doesn't make any sense. And he also wants to go and tackle gender issues, and we've seen this just too many times recently. It's sickening. I hate it. It's really stupid. And the funny thing about this is that I always hear these people say that objects don't have gender, that clothes and toys don't have a gender to it. So boys can play with girl stuff and girls can play with boy stuff. But then whenever a boy plays with a doll or a girl plays with a truck, well, they must be transgender. So you're backing away from what you just said. You can only pick just one here. You can't pick both of them. So to me, just picking issues like that is a waste of time. He should stay away from it. Attacking a few issues, I think it's okay, but like maybe hint a child is maybe getting abused or something, but other than that, just usually stick to kid stuff. Then there are the prizes. Now, granted, the prizes that and the money weren't too bad. I've seen a lot worse. The one that Doug Walker was doing was bad. Really bad. Doug Walker and his campaign, I believe, was, I think, the top prize, was maybe $50,000, or maybe it was $15,000, but either way, it was a lot of money to ask for the top prize. And what was it? Well, you get to tour the NC studio, you get to meet Doug and Rob and have dinner with them, and you get all the NC DVDs, and you get to be in an NC video. But, you had to pay for your own ticket and your own hotel. And people just got so mad at that campaign, and it led to a really crappy freaking game show that they made that only lasted, I think, a few episodes. So, and I know Enter is a really big NC fan. I'm not really sure what his opinion on the whole NC and Channel Awesome controversy is. Technically, I'm still watching his episodes a little bit, but I'm not really as big as a fan as I used to be, so. But I'm not sure if Enter made a video on that or anything. I never checked, but I know he's a big fan of Doug, so I'm not really sure if it ever went and hit him or not. But his prizes, some of them were okay, some of them were really bad. I think one of them was for about $5 and your name would be in the credits or something like that. So that wasn't too bad. That one I can see get funded. But then there were some really stupid ones, like for $90 you get a t-shirt. For $90 you get a t-shirt. I mean, that one is just really horrible. I think the biggest one was, I think, $500, and you get to be a background character. So, and it never really explains what kind of background character you're going to be. Are you going to be a background character throughout the series, or are you going to be a background character who appears in one episode for about 5 seconds? He never really explained that, and I think he was asking too much on. I also think it's too confusing for a show. So, in his show, kids are in charge. So, it also brings up, are kids in charge of everything? Are kids in charge of manufacturing cigarettes? Do they manufacture condoms? Are kids drug dealers? Do they go around and give drugs to people? They're businessmen, so does that mean they died in 9/11? And that too, are there some terrorist kids out there who go around and bombing places? This brings up a lot of freaking issues. And as the series would go on, if it got funded, it would just become bigger and bigger with more issues going on and piling up, and eventually it would just going and tumble down. So, that right there is just one problem with the show itself, among with many, many freaking others. Now, I could see this maybe getting something in the future if he does it a different way. Like I said, making it a short or making it a web comic or anything like that. I mean, as bad as it would probably be, it would probably not be as bad as something like Assigned Mail. I hate that comic so much. Not as bad as Assigned Mail or Billy the Heroic or Dumbing of Age. All those are really bad. Check them out. It will freaking make your head explode. Especially Assigned Mail. I actually made a whole video on that once. I'm thinking about maybe making another video on it another day, but Assigned Mail is something else. But Enter, technically, I do think Enter deserved all the subscribers he got. I think he did work hard to get them. From what I heard, he didn't go and bribe anyone, or he didn't cheat there, or anything like that. I do think he at least does deserve the subscribers he gets, even though I personally will never freaking subscribe to him. To me, it's just not worth it. I don't care for his videos too much. It's just too many negatives for me on all his videos. He's always just way too preachy. Everything has to be all nice, and he hates mean-spirited jokes, and he also has to go in and attack SpongeBob writers all the time, or any writer he doesn't like, and he treats these people as if they're really bad, just because they make a bad SpongeBob episode or anything else they've written. And yeah, I mean, people write bad stuff all the time, but if you get into this industry, you yourself will go and make a bad episode at one point. And then you might find yourself on someone else's bad list one day when it comes to bad writing. So, really, that's all I really wanted to go and make this on. It was just, I wanted to go and make my 2 cents on this, and I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get a lot of this from Enter fans, and even then, this video probably wasn't as critical as other Enter dislike videos. And I mean, I've seen videos where pretty much go and name call him and say bad things about him, and yes, I said I really don't like him. I think he's pretty bad at making reviews. I will never subscribe to him, and I've even made my own video on hating him. I made a little joke about him for Courage the Cowardly Dog episode, if you want to go and see that. But compared to them, this video is pretty tame. I didn't name call him. All I did was pretty much go in and say that I don't like his videos. I just think they're pretty friggin' stupid. So, yeah, that's all I really had to go and say on this video. If you're an Enter fan and if you want to go ahead and dislike this, go ahead. I don't really freaking care. But if you're Mr. Enter hater, kind of like me, or probably not to that, I'm probably not to your extent though, go ahead and hit that like button. But whichever way, that's your pick. So, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.